Yeah, until you read the fine print below them. Hi, I'm Mark Breyer.
And I'm Alexis Breyer. We're the husband and wife law team. If you look closely at that fine print, you'll see not an attorney in this state or not a law firm.
You never trust your future in the hands of someone other than a serious, experienced trial lawyer. And you definitely can't trust someone who won't even tell you who they are.
Do your research after a serious injury. Call the husband and wife law team first.
I've had a number of surgeries, and frankly, I don't have time to rehab a surgery and an operation at this point in my life. I didn't want to take time off my kids' activities.
That's why former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter turned to QC Kinetics. We couldn't be happier saving our patients like him from operating rooms and long recoveries.
They will resume like normal activity for me, which is a lot of running. It's a lot of workouts. I've been very, very blessed with how it's been able to hold up.
For so long, patients have accepted surgery as the only solution. But with new technologies, the medical professionals at QC Kinetics use regenerative treatments, your body's own biologics, to help heal and restore knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
I actually ran into a friend of mine over at our golf course, and he had his knee done. It felt so well. He'd got his shoulder done. He goes, I can't thank you enough. He'd heard the commercial on the air, and so it's feeling great.
Find out how you can avoid surgery and finally get relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 602-837-PAIN. That's 602-837-PAIN. 602-837-PAIN.
Hey Arizona, Tom Chambers here. I've learned that great teams are built by hard work, ethics, and perseverance. That's exactly what you get with Right Way Roofing. Right Way Roofing is a third-generation roofing company that has built trust in our community through their commitment to excellence. They use the toughest, most durable materials to handle Arizona's extreme weather. Take it from me, Tom Chambers. When it comes to your roof, choose the team that delivers excellence, because there's only one way, the right way.
We're Right Way Roofing and we do it right. We'll always keep you watertight.
Hi, Luis Gonzalez here. Want to bet? Feel the thrill of Casino Arizona with 1,400 of the hottest slots and nonstop table game action. We make winners, no experience necessary. Join us for the best bingo in the valley with daily sessions. Indulge in all-you-can-eat Eagles Buffet or enjoying fine dining experience at the award-winning Choyo Steakhouse. Enjoy top-notch local entertainment, tribute bands, and viewing parties at CAZ Sports Bar, just off the 101 in McKellips. Casino Arizona, uniquely Arizona.
Summertime savings are heating up at Mark Mazda in Scottsdale. Right now, we have 1.9% financing on some of our most popular models, like the 2025 Mazda CX-50.
The name to remember, Mark Mazda, Mark Mazda. 24-month term. Credit plus $998.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
A series win, but no sweep. We are into the second round of the Phoenix Suns coaching search and a major contract handed out in the NFC West. Welcome into the Monday edition of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Streaming on the KDUS AM 1060 app, and you can watch the show on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube and Twitter accounts. Chris Schubert with you. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Hope everybody's having a great start to their Monday. Producer Evan, he is behind the glass. He's taking your phone calls, 480-864-1060. If you want to get in contact with the show, you can do so over there. A lot of fun here today on the program. We should start, though, with the baseball team. And yes, a series win. Yes, a nice end to the weekend with Sunday, but I think we have to talk about Saturday, no?
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
I mean, what more can you really say at this point? Games like Saturday should not happen. And this is now the third variety of this game they've had this season. That Chicago game on a Friday. A week ago, what was it? A week ago against the Dodgers, a 6-run ninth inning. And then whatever we want to call Saturday. 3 times already this season, the Diamondbacks have played a game in which they have scored double-digit runs. And their bullpen has completely embarrassed themselves en route to a loss. Embarrassment is the only word to use to describe Saturday.
Coming into the year, they only had 1 loss in franchise history where they gave up 11 runs. They have 3 this year, bringing the total up to 4.
They're just They are finding ways to lose. And do I want to start with Saturday's game? No. I want to start by talking about a team that won a series and took 2 out of 3. And overall, you win 2 out of 3 every time you play. You're going to have a pretty good record at the end of the season. That's where I'd like to start. I can't, though, because you missed the golden opportunity on Saturday. You missed it. You let it pass you by. You had a chance to sweep this team. We told you had to sweep this team. We told you with how bad they have played, you cannot afford to drop a game. That was before we saw how Saturday went. 14 pitches into the game, you're down 3-0. You rally in the bottom of the first and put up a crooked number. And then your bullpen once again lets you down. And it was a different cast of characters this time. Familiar faces, but a different cast of characters than the Shelby Millers, Kevin Ginkles of the world. This time, it was Jalen Beeks in the 6th inning, and it was Ryan Thompson in the 7th inning. And as a team, they gave up 8 runs in the final 4 innings of that game on Saturday to miss an opportunity to sweep the Colorado Rockies. And so it goes on our bulletin board. And I think, Producer Evan, that we need to pin this to the board behind you. We have important things up there like the schedule of events that are going on here. We need to add this list, which we are describing as the blown games by the bullpen. This now has, just check my math here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 games on it. And Saturday's 4 runs in the 6th, 3 runs in the 7th, 1 run in the 9th is the latest example to go on this list. We'll touch on the bullpen a little bit more here in the program. Justin Martinez looks like he's going to come back this week. Going to make some rehab starts down there in Reno. Rehab appearances, I should say. And then he'll rejoin this team. We'll get to the bullpen a little bit later. But you win a series, you take 2 out of 3, and I'm sorry, it's just not good enough. And I know sweeps are hard to come by. And I know it's hard to beat a team 3 straight days. I get all that. This Rockies team has 8 wins all season. 8.
Winning percentage of 0.174.
They win 17% of their games. And it's not just that. I think it would be different if you got blown out. You lost 9-0. All right, you just didn't have your best. I'm still a little annoyed by it. We would still open the show about it, but I can at least wrap my head around you just didn't have your best baseball that day. You were leading this game. You got off to a bad start. You responded. You showed that you could score runs. And for the 3rd time this season, you scored double-digit runs and lost the game. I'm sorry, that's unacceptable. This list can't have one of these games, let alone 3 of them. Every Monday in the building, we have a meeting. And everybody, all the major department heads were in this meeting, and it starts off our week. It was the first thing we talked about in the meeting. Now, I'm the only sports guy in the room. There's music stations, a lot of other people in the building. We sat down, and our pre-meeting conversation was about Saturday's game. And somebody in the room said, "You're watching the game, and it's unbelievable. You're just flabbergasted that this could happen." I'm not, because I've seen it already 2 other times this season where this team has scored double-digit runs, and it's still not enough. Why? Because the bullpen remains a problem. The bullpen continues to remain just a wheel. And you spin the wheel, and just like the Wheel of Fortune, sometimes you're going to land on bankrupt. Sometimes you're going to land on lose a turn. Sometimes you're going to land on the big, the $1,000 space is the big space. And every single night right now, we spin the wheel, and we don't know where it's going to land.
Even my dad, who does not care about the Diamondbacks at all, is texting me about Saturday's game, calling me about Saturday's game. That's the kind of national attention that you do not want. And how do we continue to watch the same movie once a week, it feels like, where they can't get the outs they need. And if they get a bad start, like they did on Saturday, it feels like the game's over. They have the offense to rebound, but gosh, if we have to use 4 or 5 bullpen arms, game over. Can't get the last couple outs.
You can't function as a baseball team if these results are going to become commonplace. And they're commonplace. Not the 14-12 nature of the loss, but a loss in which we get to the moment the starting pitcher is out of the game. You are worried. You're doing the math in your head. You're trying to figure out how many ounces this team need, who's available, who worked the day before, who do they have, who do they not have. And you're in your head. You already know how this story's going to end. You already can see the script. And that's a bad place for a baseball team to be, where as fans, we're watching this team play and we can see the writing on the wall. The door swings open, a reliever comes out. And the worst part about it is it's every single reliever. Jalen Beeks, I can think of a couple of examples of where he's given up a big lead this season. Ryan Thompson, I can think of a couple of examples where he has given up a big lead this season. Shelby Miller, Kevin Ginkel, even Justin Martinez struggling in that game against the Mets that ended up landing him on the injured list. Every single high leverage arm they have has danced with disaster, and they've busted at the blackjack table. Every single one of them. And so you are just waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're just waiting for the disaster to come in. And you're not surprised when it does. You're not surprised when that crooked number goes on the board. And that's the worst place for a baseball team to be, because you know what? Now it doesn't matter how many runs you score as an offense. It doesn't matter how good or bad your starting pitching is. They got a brilliant outing yesterday from Merrill Kelly. We would all agree with that, right? Brilliant from Merrill Kelly. It's 1-0. You were worried for those last couple of outs. You know that one swing ties the game, and you've seen this bullpen give up that one swing. The Rockies hit 4 home runs on Saturday, 2 in the first inning off of Zach Gallen. As a team, you are not playing complementary baseball. We talk in football about a complementary football, a good defense to go along with a good running game to help you control the time of possession. The Diamondbacks are not playing complementary baseball. And where they are faltering the most right now is their bullpen can't protect a small lead. Their bullpen can't protect a medium-sized lead. They are not playing complementary baseball. And so every night we're going to continue to spin this wheel. Every night we're going to continue to wonder if this team has the arms. And we'll talk about Justin Martinez returning later on and whether or not he's going to fix all of this. But it is a revolving door of chaos right now, and not the good kind. Not the kind that we have come to expect with this baseball club, that you expect with Corbin Carroll, that you expect with Ketel Marte. There's a good type of chaos that this team has going for them at times. Right now, this is the bad kind of chaos. And I'm sorry if people are upset that this is where I'm starting today, but you know what? You need to sweep this baseball team. You want me to take you seriously. You went out and spent money on Corbin Burns. You went out and told us to forget about last year. This is a better baseball team. I've said that this is a more talented baseball team than it was a year ago. And it is. On paper, it is a more talented baseball team. Then you got to show it. You got to put the stuff on the resume. And right now, the resume is littered with games like Saturday. It is littered with a bullpen meltdown. 6 of them, to be exact. 6 bullpen meltdowns so far this season that we put into the bucket of a full-blown meltdown that led to a loss for the Diamondbacks. 6 of them. You want me to take you seriously as a team in the National League? You can't have that on your resume. You can't go into October baseball with me wondering if you're able to get the final 9, 6, 3 outs of a baseball game. You will be doomed in the playoffs.
How do you beat a team that in their head just goes over there and says, we got to get to the 7th. If once we get to 7, we'll get our swings. You could have a dominant performance, but with the other dugout thinking, we get to the 8th, I like our chances. It's hard to win.
You get to the postseason, and what does everybody say when teams have elite bullpens? They make a 9-inning game a 3-inning game. If you don't score in the first 6 innings against teams that have elite postseason bullpens, you're screwed. You're going to lose. If you don't have a lead going into the last 3 innings, you are not going to win. The Diamondbacks right now, teams will be licking their chops to get to this bullpen. And I don't know if there's an answer right now. And so, yeah, I am going to harp on a loss like Saturday because it could be the difference. And not only could it be the difference, even if it isn't and you get into the postseason, we're going to remember these games. We're going to remember this list when we get to the end of the season, and we're going to go, okay, which bullpen is showing up tonight? when we take on the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Mets, the Cubs, whoever we're facing in that postseason series, which bullpen's going to show up? And imagine you find yourself in a wild card series where it's 3 games. Short sample size. So that's why games like Saturday matter. That's why meltdowns like Saturday make you want to rip your hair out. You can't have it, and you can't have it against that team. A team that has 8 wins all season. You cannot lose that game to that team. I don't care how poorly Zach Allen pitched. And trust me, we'll get to that here today on the show. I don't care how poorly Zach Allen pitched. You take the lead in that game, you have to have a bullpen that can nail down that lead. And you didn't. And it cost you an opportunity to sweep. It cost you a chance for us to open today's show and talk about a team that had won 4 in a row, leading into an important series with the Dodgers. And instead, we are relishing a missed opportunity by this ball club. And they have nobody to blame but themselves. That is a self-inflicted loss on Saturday, one of many so far this season. 480-864-1060 is the phone number if you want to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream and on the Twitter account as well. When we come back, we appear to be in the second round of the Suns head coaching search. There are 9 names left. We'll go through them next. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Breaking Benjamin. Stay forever. And 3 Days Grace. Live. October 8th at Desert Diamond Arena with special guest Return to Dust. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Don't miss Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace, presented by the Big Red Radio.
Meet Barkley. When Barkley smells gas, he leaves fast. When Barkley hears hissing coming from a gas appliance, he leaves fast. When Barkley sees dirt or water shooting from the ground, he leaves fast. Barkley then calls 911 and Southwest Gas from a safe location.
Did that dog just grab a phone and dial 911?
Gas lines can be buried anywhere, so remember to call 911 and Southwest Gas.
How do you feel when you switch to Geico and save on your car insurance? It's like unloading the grocery bags from your car and you decide you can get all the bags in one trip.
I can do it.
So you load up all 14 grocery bags on both arms. Sure, you can't feel your fingers and forgot to take your house keys out.
Almost there.
But you never put down one bag and you made it inside all in one trip like the bag-carrying boss you are.
Yes.
Yep, switching and saving with Geico feels just like that. Get more with Geico.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner at A1 Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. Call A1 Garage Door Service, and you'll be smiling today.
A1Garage.com, A1 from day one.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. Thought I would take a moment to reset an annual take that I had that for some reason aggravates a lot of people, but it seems so straightforward and obvious to me. And that's that the Stanley Cup is the hardest trophy in all sports to win. It just is. The NHL postseason is a 2-month all-out brawl with teams playing each other every other day for those 8 weeks. And every single game, every period, every single shift is intensified 20x over the regular season. And you have to win 4 best-of-7 series and 16 of these individual all-out wars on the ice in order to win the cup. I don't think I've ever seen a group of athletes sell out and endure the way NHLers have to win that cup. But I see it every single year. Why do you think every single player who's ever won the cup has their name etched onto the cup? That's how revered it is to go through that fire and come out the other end. Believe me, every trophy in pro sports is a mother to win, but none more so than the Stanley Cup. I'm Jim Rome.
O'Reilly.
You need parts? We got parts. Product availability? Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. Get one free set of brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Upgrade to Brake Best Select brake pads for $10 more, or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or Import Direct pads for just $20. Offer in-store only. Restriction applies. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Warning, the national debt is spiraling out of control. Trade wars are causing record volatility, and inflation could make a devastating comeback. Will you sit on the sidelines and wait, or will you take action today to help protect your hard-earned retirement savings? And what if you could do it tax and penalty-free? Find out more by requesting your free 2025 gold and silver kit from the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco. Plus, you could get an unlimited instant match on bonus silver if you qualify. Call 855-969-GOLD to learn more. That's 855-969-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
We appear to be into phase 2 of
the alignment.
Phase 2 of this coaching search.
The alignment.
Getting closer to the Phoenix Suns having themselves a brand new head basketball coach. A report from over the weekend. The list is down to 9 candidates. You got the pen and a piece of paper handy there, Producer Evan, so we can keep track of all of these names, because 9's a lot.
I got them.
Okay. These are the 9 names, according to a bunch of reports. Chris Haynes, I think, was the first person to report the names. Jake Fisher added another name to the list. These are the 9 names that have made it into the next stage of head coaching interviews, which, by the way, since we're at 9 in the second phase, we've got a little bit of time here. We're probably got to narrow these down to probably 3 or 4. That'll be phase 3, and then they'll hire somebody. So we're probably 2 weeks away from this. But these are the names that are on the list, at least according to Chris Haynes, NBA insider. Current Suns assistant coach David Fizdale, and then assistants on a bunch of other teams. Johnny Bryant and Jordan Ott from the Cleveland Cavaliers, Sean Sweeney from the Dallas Mavericks, Steve Hetzel from the Brooklyn Nets, Dave Bliss from the Oklahoma City Thunder, Micah Nori from the Minnesota Timberwolves, James Borrego, formerly of the Pelicans, and Miami Heat assistant coach Chris Quinn, also on the list. Those are the 9 names that have made it into round 2. If there's one good thing that came from this,
the alignment
by the Phoenix Suns, is they were casting a wide net. We loved that. We said cast the biggest net possible. Talk to everybody. College coaches, college ADs, college assistant coaches, NBA assistant coaches. Talk to everybody. Former head coaches. You get media members. I don't care. Cast a wide net. Gather as much intel as you can on how these coaches think that the Phoenix Suns need to be fixed. So they cast this wide net, and now we're down to 9. So what do we make of this list? Is this a good list? Well, I'm kind of impartial, because when the Phoenix Suns made the move to fire Mike Budenholzer and start out finding a new head coach, we on this program, Producer Evan was here at the time, we put together our wish list in terms of the qualities that we wanted in a head coach. And I said I didn't need somebody that had former NBA head coaching experience. I was okay with you dipping into the bucket of a first-time head coach, but I cared where they came from. I cared the resume that they carried with them. And one guy in particular jumped off the page for me. I tweeted about this guy, said, I want this guy on the list, and he has made it to the final 9. So I'm impartial to Dave Bliss of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Why am I impartial to Dave Bliss of the Oklahoma City Thunder? Longtime NBA assistant. I look at where he was. He's in Oklahoma City right now, team that could potentially win a championship, won a big Game 7 yesterday, but has been around while that team has gone through a major culture shift, he has been there for 2 different coaching regimes, is a defensive-minded guy. He helps with the defensive side of the ball for Oklahoma City. He's on the younger side. Just checked all of the boxes for me in this next head coach. So I love that he is on this list. Now, do I love the entirety of the list? No. I don't know if I want David Fizdale, a holdover of the last regime, to get a crack at this. I like Fizdale. He's a good NBA head coach, but
the alignment.
I want a fresh start.
Now, we had to imagine there was going to be one internal name. I think that would be crazy not to think there wouldn't be somebody internally, just because they made the internal hire at GM.
Well, and,
the alignment.
It could work really
trying
well.
to get everybody aligned.
Yeah.
But seeing that there's 8 names outside of the front office or outside of the building makes me excited that this isn't going to be an internal hire. I think they gave Fizdale the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
But I don't think
worth-
he's the favorite for this job by any means out of the 9 names.
Worth talking to. Former NBA head coach. He's been there. He's been close to the problems over the last couple of years. So he's a person that you bring in and you talk to. So I'm not surprised that he's made it to the second stage. He just wouldn't excite me as a head coaching hire.
And we talked about this too. You're asking these guys, what are our problems?
Yeah.
I'm sure he had a pretty good diagnosis of what the problems in the building were.
So you can get that list from him. I like Chris Quinn a lot. He's a rising coaching candidate in the NBA circles as it is. The Heat culture, we keep playing this on the program.
The alignment.
But the point that Brian Gregory was making when he talked about alignment is the culture matters here. We have to be aligned and row this boat in the right direction and have a culture that is going to set this team on a path towards success, towards greatness. Well, Chris Quinn is off of a coaching tree down there in Miami where they had great success building a culture that has got a moniker across the rest of the NBA. Heat culture is a term that we use. So another name that I like to see on this list. I will tell you, though, there are 2 names on this list that I don't want to say bother me, but I am concerned. And maybe I shouldn't be concerned. Maybe it shouldn't bother me, but it does. And it's something that I immediately, when it was pointed out on social media over the weekend, I went, uh-oh, here we go. Because there are 2 names on this list. Hetzel, who's in Brooklyn, and Jordan Ott, who's in Cleveland. Both of those gentlemen have Michigan State ties. And immediately, when this list got released over the weekend, people pointed out those ties to Michigan State and said, oh, there you go. Those are the 2 guys that are going to be the finalists. And it's going to be between those 2 Michigan State alum or guys that have worked there and coached there to get this job. And it just because these guys coached at Michigan State does not mean that they will be bad NBA coaches. That is not what I am saying. But you are going to bring about an optic and a conversation that you can't get past. You can tell me that Jordan Ott has the best resume known to man amongst any of these candidates. The fact that he was working at Michigan State, that he was a member of that program. He was with Michigan State from 2006 to 2013. I'm sorry, that's going to be the headline. Just like the headline when you hired Brian Gregory was first-time front office executive that was at Michigan State the same time Ishbia was. Those dots are going to automatically be connected, and you are setting yourself up for failure from the get-go because people are going to look at it through that lens. Fairly or unfairly, that's going to come with the territory. And so I don't say that you have to remove those guys from the conversation, but you just have to understand that if you hire one of the 2 guys that have direct Michigan State ties after you hired a GM who had no experience, who had 0 front office acumen. I'm sorry, I'm not counting the year that he had last year as the vice president of player programming. I am not. He has 0 front office experience, and he is now sitting in the GM chair. And when talking about
the alignment,
he said, the reason why I am up here, one of the major reasons why I am up here is because of my relationship with Matt Ishbia, because we have a relationship dating back to Michigan State. He embraced that part of it. We wanted him to kind of create some distance between himself and Matt in that regard. And he
moved closer to Matt with those comments. What's to say that if they hire somebody who has Michigan State ties, 2 of the 9 finalists having Michigan State ties, having coached there and having been there, you're going to continue to
The alignment.
kind of stoke that flame. So there are names on here that I like. I like Chris Quinn. I like Dave Bliss. I like James Borrego. Some names on this list that I like. Others, I don't know a lot about Johnny Bryant. I don't know a lot about Sean Sweeney. I look at the teams that they've come from. Yeah, I would talk to some assistant coaches that were with Cleveland. Yeah, I would talk to assistant coaches that were with Oklahoma City and Minnesota. You want to talk to 2 assistant coaches who are still playing in the postseason. That feels like a smart thing to do because Minnesota and Oklahoma City have turned things around. They've built a winning culture. Helps to have players like Anthony Edwards, but Oklahoma City has built a fully fledged roster over the course of the last couple of years. Yeah, those are the teams, those are the organizations that I would be trying to pick the brains of. So just on that principle alone, I like this list. But now it's about landing the plane because this is going to take a little bit longer. You've got 9 people. You're going to have to conduct second interviews. And you've got teams that are still playing, right? Oklahoma City still playing. Minnesota still playing. These teams are still ongoing in the postseason. And those 2 guys may be high up on the candidate list. You know, this is a good list for tomorrow. Write this down, producer Evan. Tomorrow, we'll take these 9 names and we'll order them 1 through 9. The guys we would most like to see get this job. Now that we know the names, now that they're out there. We'll do that on tomorrow's program. But it's going to take time to interview these guys for a second time. And then from there, you're going to dwindle the list down to probably 3 or 4 names. And then you're going to do another round of interviews with those 3 to 4 names. And then you're going to make a final decision. We're probably at least 2 weeks away from having an answer on this. I like the thoroughness. I like being in depth. I like covering all your bases. I love all of this. So for Brian Gregory, the first major thing he is doing as the general manager of this team, I like it. He's doing a very thorough job. There are some names on this list that I think would be home run hires. There's others on this list that would bring about a conversation, would bring about more questions about Matt Ishbia and whether he actually wants to win. And he does. I think he does want to win. But if you just hire guys who have Michigan State ties, the message that you are sending, I think, is going to rub some people the wrong way. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. You can join us on the YouTube channel, the Twitter account as well, where we've got the video version of the show. When we come back, Zach Allen, it was a rough start over the weekend. We have major concerns moving forward. That's next on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or 2. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
The legacy continues. Pantera. The heaviest tour of the summer.
What you say?
Tearing up Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, August 26th. With Amon Amarth. On sale now at LiveNation.com. Part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
The summertime savings are heating up at Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Right now, you can receive a 2.99% APR for up to 60 months on a brand new 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander. Or check out a brand new 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage for just $15,995.
Go to ScottsdaleMitsubishi.com to check out our current selection of inventory not affected by future tariff changes. The name to remember, Scottsdale Mitsubishi, Scottsdale Mitsubishi, another Mark Auto Group dealership.
It starts with a simple order, a cold Dos Equis dressed with salt and lime. But for the salt clinging to the bottle and the lime perched on top, this is the luckiest of unions. As if the universe has swiped right, pairing flavors together with a crisp Dos Equis. This is refreshment designed by fate, blessed by destiny, and served by bartenders. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, Luis Gonzalez here. Want to bet? Feel the thrill of Casino Arizona with 1,400 of the hottest slots and nonstop table game action. We make winners, no experience necessary. Join us for the best bingo in the valley with daily sessions. Indulge in all-you-can-eat Eagles buffet or enjoying fine dining experience at the award-winning Choyo Steakhouse. Enjoy top-notch local entertainment, tribute bands, and viewing parties at CAZ Sports Bar, just off the 101 in McKellips. Casino Arizona, uniquely Arizona.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner at A1 Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. Call A1 Garage Door Service, and you'll be smiling today.
A1Garage.com. A1 from day one.
Hello, everybody. Eric Bryan, owner of Precision Air and Plumbing. If you're having plumbing problems, we've got you covered. My plumbing technicians are the best in the business. That's why we've been voted Arizona's #1 ranked company for more than a decade. Whether you've got clogged drains, drippy faucets, need a new water heater, or even a full house repipe, Precision does it all. So make the Precision decision today and call us at 602-765-PIPE.
Precision decision with Precision Air.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you? I'm going to take a logical approach. Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all. It's a crapshoot. Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Welcome back into the lunch break. Chris Schubert here with you. Buy or sell coming up in about 10 minutes from now. Producer Evan's got all those topics for us to discuss. Like I said, we'll do that in about 10 minutes from now, but still discussing the weekend that was for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and specifically the game that is coming into focus is the 14-12 Saturday loss. The Denver Broncos defeated the Arizona Diamondbacks 14-12. No, I'm just kidding. It was just a baseball score between the two teams over the weekend. And what came into focus was another rough go of it for Zach Allen. The final numbers on his start over the weekend: 5 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 home runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. The first 14 pitches of the game, boom, it was 3-0 Rockies in a hurry. And it has not been a great last 2 goes of it for Zach Allen. It was 5 2/3 against the Dodgers last Sunday. 10 hits, 4 earned runs, no home runs allowed, but 2 walks and 5 strikeouts. He's given up 10 earned runs over his last 2 starts. And producer Evan asked me a question during the morning meeting today. He said, should we be concerned? Is this something that we should raise the alarm bells about and discuss? And to be honest, I'm not really sure, because Zach Allen as a pitcher has all the potential in the world to be a Cy Young candidate. He has the stuff. He has the resume where he's shown at times to be able to be that ace. He just doesn't have the consistency always. And this is not uncharacteristic of Zach Allen to have a couple of starts that make us question everything about Zach Allen. I, the chief fan, or the chief executive of the Zach Gallen fan club, been a fan of his since the moment they traded for him. Thought this was a future ace that you build your rotation around. And for a large part of his career here, that's exactly what he has been. But there has always seemed to be this extra level to Zach Gallen's game that he has been unable to reach. And it has shown up in various ways. Over the last couple of years, what has been the big knock on Zach Gallen as a pitcher? The way he is pitched away from Chase Field. You get to the postseason, your number 1, number 2 starter is going to have to go on the road and win a game. At some point over the course of the postseason, you're going to need that tough as nails, gritty road performance where you just handle all of the pressure of being in Philadelphia. You handle the pressure of being in New York, being in Chicago, being in LA, taking on the best of the National League, and your starting pitcher goes in there and is unfazed by things. And it has been somewhat of an issue for Zach Allen recently of how he's performed away from Chase Field. And then we started this year. And it was a not so great opening night performance from Zach Allen. But how did he respond? How great was that start against the Yankees? Where he goes on the road, Yankee Stadium, defending American League champions, and he just dominates. Double-digit strikeouts, and you're like, yes, that's the guy. That's the untapped potential. If you get that guy, that's a Cy Young candidate. It's going to be hard for us to lose a lot of games when we got Burns and Gallen going 2 out of every 5 days. We're going to win a lot of baseball games. And now you have the last 2 starts because the 3 starts right before that tell that exact story. 7 innings of 1-run ball against the Mets. 6 innings of 1-run ball against the Mets. 13 innings in back-to-back starts against the Mets. 2 runs allowed, 14 strikeouts. But the walks have become an issue for Gallen. These are just his last 5 starts. 2 walks on Saturday, 2 walks against the Dodgers, 3 walks in both starts against the Mets that he won, 2 starts against the Braves. He, to this point this year, has 25 walks in 56 innings. He has to get that under control. You cannot allow free, easy base runners because let me let you in on a little secret. You might be able to get away with it. You didn't, but you might be able to get away with it against the Rockies, against the Pirates, the White Sox of the baseball world. You are not going to get away with that against the Dodgers, against the Phillies, against the Cubs, against the Mets, especially in those pressure-packed moments in September and October. I don't want to go as far as to say that I'm concerned about Zach Allen, but right now, we all agree that this team's strength, maybe we don't agree. I think the strength of this team overall is their starting pitching. It's the thing that they can fall back on, I think, regularly enough. Merrill Kelly's your number 3 starter. Look how great he pitched yesterday. It's a start like Merrill Kelly's over the weekend that really stop you from going on extended losing streaks. Stops you from having those 4, 5, 6 game losing streaks that can derail a whole season. You're too good pitching-wise to allow that to happen. And with a bullpen right now that is a mess, an offense that is a roller coaster ride. We're going to talk in hour number 2. Hasn't been great for Jordan Lawler. You have an offense right now that is a bit of a roller coaster ride. The pitching is the thing you have to fall back on. And if Zach Allen is going to be this inconsistent, if you can't fall back on the pitching, if you can't fall back on the bullpen, if you can't fall back on the offense, what are you as a baseball team? The starting pitching has to be a strength here. So levels of concern, do we want to use what the DEFCON 1 through 5? How does that work? 1 is bad, 5 is the least bad. I think they go in reverse order, right? With the DEFCON, you're looking at me like you have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, I'm trying to think.
I believe DEFCON 1
is the least bad.
You think? I think
DEFCON 5 is the worst.
No, see, I think it's the reverse. I think DEFCON 5 is we need to just put this on the radar and pay attention to it. And DEFCON 1 is everybody get to your battle station. Be ready. You're looking it up clearly.
Yeah,
I can see you.
The DEFCON system is a U.S. military alert system with 5 levels
Yep.
used to indicate the level. The order is from highest alert, DEFCON 1, to lowest, DEFCON 5.
So, okay, if we're going to operate the lunch break panic scale and we're going to go from 5 to 1, let's call this, I'm going to call this a lunch break 4.
I was going to say 3.
I'm not ready to be like, we got to have a serious conversation, but 2 back-to-back starts that were iffy. The walks have continued to be a problem. He needs to be Zach Allen, or else this team is going to constantly, like, the starting pitching is a reason why you don't lose 3 or 4 in a row. But the starting pitching right now has also been part of the reason why it's win, loss, win, loss, win, loss.
Would you like to hear the definition of DEFCON 4?
Please.
Above normal readiness.
Do you have a breakdown for all 5?
Of course.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's close the segment with this. So, because I don't want to use the DEFCON because we'll save that for important things like the military. But we're going to have our own panic system. So the lunch break 5, the LB5 is what?
Do you want me to read you DEFCONs?
Well, yeah, and then we'll get a lunch break
a normal
translation for it.
DEFCON 5, a normal peacetime readiness, no specific alert.
So this is we're going to call this status quo. Status quo, lunch break 5, no problem. That's not how you spell quo. All right, I got it. Don't worry. Lunch break 4.
4, above normal readiness.
Above normal readiness. So if lunch break 5 is status quo, lunch break 4, all right, whatever. Lunch break 3. We'll come up with these as we go.
3, military forces are ready to mobilize within 15 minutes.
I really don't know how we're going to transpose these to the program, but all right, at least we're getting ourselves a little bit of a base here.
I just feel like that we got somebody in a trade or willing to come up.
Right. So lunch break 3 is need to look external for an answer. That's what lunch break 3 is going to be. All right, lunch break 2 and lunch break 1.
1, armed forces are ready to deploy and engage in less than 6 hours. That, to me, that means you're benched.
Yeah, that is a benching. Okay. Lunch break 1 is full
maximum readiness with immediate response. That to me
full-blown
is
panic.
Trading or cutting somebody.
Full-blown panic is a lunch break 1. So lunch break 5 is the status quo. Lunch break 4, we're gonna call it the raise eyebrow. Okay, just I'm gonna look at this a little differently. Lunch break 3 is the need to look externally. Lunch break 2 is a benching, and lunch break 1 is a full-blown panic. So you want to? We can't be at a lunch break 3. You wanted to put us at a 3.
No, I'll put us at 2. I'll put us at 2.
No, you by 2 you mean 4. We're not at
4.
We're not at a benching. We're at a lunch break 4.
Yeah, we're at a 4. And honestly, I just thought we're right in the middle. But really, once you get up to 3, it gets worse. These things aren't gradual.
Right. When we're at 3, stuff's gone a little sideways. So right now, I think we're at a 4. We're raising the eyebrow. We're keeping an eye on it, and then we'll raise the panic level as we go.
Perfect. Listen, I will tell you though, your eyebrows need to be raised at this,
and that's
because
why we're at a 4.
He's getting crushed. I mean, you're talking about 4 starts this year with 4 more earned runs. He's a 4.17 expected ERA. If you go on to, I mean, I'm tired of this. Zach Gallen is that great. Like, he's a mid-3 guy, and I know he's had awesome starts and everything like that. But look at the Phillies. They just put down Aaron Nola for 15 games on a phantom, injury that they made up. Let's face it. And I think that they're the same player to me.
The thing with Gallen is we have seen him be ace level. And so when you call somebody up and there's the potential, and we'll talk about this with that guy. When you call somebody up and there's a potential, it's all just hypothetical, right? Until you see it, yeah, great. You can tell me that this guy's going to be a 300 hitter and he's going to hit 25 home runs. Until I see it, though, it's all just untapped potential. We've seen with Zach Gallen the ability to be an ace. So when he's not, when he pitches like he has for the last 2 starts, you raise your eyebrow. You're an LB4.
But what's the outlier? That's the question. The outlier isn't a mid-3 ERA.
See, I don't know. I think
the outlier is a mid-2.
I think there's a balance here of there's been an equal amount of greatness and an equal amount of frustration to the point where you just don't know what path you're going down. And that's the frustrating part of being, as I am, a member of the Zach Gallen fan club. When he looks great, you're like, yes, you're ready to spike the football. You're ready to tell everybody they're wrong. And then he pitches the way he does on Saturday or the way he did against the Dodgers. And you just got to take the arrows from everybody who's like, see, he's not a number 1. He's not a number 2. And you just got to take it.
All right, let me ask you this question.
Sure.
You get 1 start. I'll give you 4 names.
Okay.
Zach Gallen. I'll give you Brandon Pfaadt right now, Merrill Kelly, Corbin Burns. I'm taking Gallen 4.
If I had to power
right
rank
now
those 4, Burns is number 1. Burns has really turned a corner.
Yeah, and he looks dominant.
Yeah,
right
I wish
now.
we could talk more about that. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit later in the week. But he looks like the guy you paid $210 million for, right, in a big way. So he would be number 1. And Brandon Pfaadt had a rough night out the last time out. So that's Merrill Kelly's 2. I think I'd put Gallen 3, Pfaadt 4 for right now.
But it's a conversation, and that's the problem.
It is. Yes, and that is the Zach Gallen experience all rolled up into one conversation.
Yep.
When we come back, a little buy or sell to close out hour number 1 of the program. All the topics picked by the producer of the show. And I have to buy or sell the statement, whatever he's got. I'm either buying or selling. We'll do it next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays, 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
The Offspring. Supercharged worldwide in 25. One unforgettable summer night. The Offspring, live in Phoenix. With special guests Jimmy E. World and Newfound Glory. Playing Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater August 27th. Get tickets now at livenation.com. 3 great bands. 1 incredible show. Part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
Did you know that Harrah's Auction Casino is your key to nationwide fun? That's right. You'll unlock perks at more than 50 destinations from coast to coast at your local home for Caesars Rewards. Free dining in Atlantic City? Yes. Free slot play in Maricopa? You bet. Free hotel stays in New Orleans? Oh, yeah. What are you waiting for? Harrah's Auction Casino. Play for all. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 or 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Visit the Caesars Reward Center for details.
The savings are heating up now at Mark Kia in Scottsdale.
Right now, you can lease a brand new 2025 Kia Sportage for just $199 a month for 24 months with $29.99 due at signing.
That's right, a brand new Kia for under $200 a month.
Go to markkia.com to check out our current selection of inventory not affected by future tariff changes.
The name to remember? Mark Kia. Mark Kia. Go to markkia.com for full details. $0 security deposit. Payment plus tax title license $998 doc fee. Offer expires June 2nd, 2025.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Ink card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
It's ASU postseason baseball right here on KDUS AM 1060. After fighting hard all season long, the Sun Devils are ready to make some noise in the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. Their first matchup is up against BYU bright and early this Wednesday. Join the voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy, as he calls the action from Arlington. It's ASU versus BYU. Pregame at 6:45 a.m. and first pitch at 7 a.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and online at KDUS1060.com/Sun Devils.
No, you heard correctly. Yes, ASU baseball, Wednesday, 6:45 a.m. Pregame, 7 o'clock a.m. First pitch right here on KDUS AM 1060. Playing in the Big 12 Championship or the Big 12 Baseball Tournament. It started on Wednesday. They're the first game of the day. It's a long day. That game is a 9 a.m. local time start, so doing the time difference, that's 7 a.m. for us. When I got the email from Tim over the weekend, he's like, yep, this is how it lines up. And I'm like, wow. All right, 7 a.m. So, yes, you can hear that right here, starting at 6:45 a.m. On KDUS AM 1060. We got to go because we went well overtime there in that last segment. So I will waste little time. Welcome back into the program. Chris Schubert here with you on the lunch break. It's time for Buy or Sell. Producer Evans got the topics. I have the reactions to them. Take it away, my friend.
The Suns will hire a coach with Michigan State ties.
Oh, man. Do I go with my heart or with my head on this one? The heart says, no, sell this. They're going to hire somebody outside of Michigan State. My head says, of course, they're going to hire somebody with Michigan State ties. 2 of the 9 finalists have some ties to Michigan State. And obviously, that's always going to be a talking point. Feels like this dates back to the trade deadline when there were talks of trading Kevin Durant to Golden State and Draymond Green being at Michigan State, and Matt Ishbia just loving that. And that's kind of where all this started, and it's just grown and grown and grown. And then you hire somebody in Brian Gregory who has zero front office experience, but you know him from your time at Michigan State, and just everybody's just now every time something Michigan State related comes up, the dots are going to be connected. I will sell this just to be optimistic on a Monday to start the week off on a good note. I will sell this.
D-backs will add more than just a pitcher at the deadline and bring in either an outfielder or third baseman.
What are you doing?
We'll get into that later in the show.
This is our guy. What are you doing to our guy?
I didn't say just a third baseman.
You could play the outfield too. Man, I just think a lot of their focus right now is going to have to be on multiple relievers. I think they may need a starter at some point.
I definitely think they need a starter.
Yeah, I mean, Eduardo Rodriguez.
It doesn't need to be a front of the line guy, but certainly depth.
You want to talk about the most phantom of phantom IL stints.
Oh my gosh.
And listen, it gets checked out with everybody because the MLB's looking for stuff like this, but he just has a bunch of bad starts in a row, and then all of a sudden he ends up on the injured list. I mean, immediately I was like, okay, sure, he's got.
It's like when somebody gets hurt at the end of camp, but plays 60 plays in a preseason game that they're just trying to not put on the practice squad.
Or when a guy has a great performance and then the notice comes in the NFL, the notice gets slipped into their locker.
Yeah.
You have a performance drug test tomorrow. Sure. It's just a coincidence. Sure. I think they're going to need a starter. They're going to need a couple of relievers. Yeah. I mean, I think they're going to add more on the pitching side. So I'll sell this for right now. I think it's going to be a pitching focused deadline for this club right now.
I don't disagree, but I could see them adding depth or a piece rotationally. It's only a 2-team race in the NFC West between the Cardinals and the Rams. It takes the Niners and the Seahawks out of that race.
I'll buy this. I'm very down on the Seahawks this year. I think there's a lot of new. I worry about Darnold outside of the Kevin O'Connell system. I worry about that offensive line being able to protect him. You saw that in the tail end of the season, if you got pressure on him, he really kind of crumbled under that pressure. So I'm kind of out on Seattle. We'll talk about this a little bit in hour number 2. Should be doing victory laps that the 49ers decided to pay Brock Purdy. Victory laps. I think they have a ceiling as a squad. I think as a roster, they are very locked out in terms of their ceiling. So I will buy this.
The Chiefs won't win the AFC West this year.
The Chiefs won't win the – where is this coming from? The Chiefs won't win the AFC. I mean, listen, you're allowed to do whatever you want and buy or sell. This is like off the top rope random. The Chiefs won't win the AFC West. Well, it's certainly not going to be the Raiders. It's certainly not going to be the Broncos.
What? I think they get a good team this year. Here's what I'll tell you.
Okay.
I think that when you lose by 40+ in a Super Bowl, and I'm not saying that just because I'm an Eagles fan, I'm saying that that's the type of loss that starts to make you look internally.
I know. Do you know who their head coach is?
They couldn't block anybody.
I know, but you know who their head coach is?
No, and listen,
you know
I know who their head coach is more than anybody.
That's what I'm saying. And you also know who the quarterback is. As long as 15's under center, they're the favorites to win the division.
I didn't say they're not the favorites.
Stop it. You want me right now to
so
say
you're selling this.
You want me to buy the idea that the Chargers, they're a meme.
Oh God, no.
The Chargers,
old Chargers.
They are a meme because of their inability to perform in these types of moments. So that's the one team I have. The Broncos, who, listen, I like Bo Nix. I don't love Bo Nix. There's a ceiling, I think, there.
Yeah, but you like the head coach.
Do I, though? Do I? Sean Payton is not one of the innovative minds in the game anymore.
No, and I understand that. And
him.
listen, I'm a bigger Sean Payton criticizer than most, but you don't lose by 25+ in the Super Bowl and come back the next year. Fine. Last one. Scotty Scheffler is the closest thing we've seen to Tiger.
Scotty Scheffler is the closest thing we have seen to Tiger. I'll buy that. I'll buy it. He just keeps racking up victories. He's doing really well. Should have picked him. Should have made him your pick. You didn't, though, even after I told you. Hour number one of the program in the books. When we come back, the bullpen, it is still a problem. But could the reinforcements be on the way? That's next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
9 Inch Nails. Live at Footprint Center, September 16th. Get tickets now at NIN.com. 9 Inch Nails, live in Phoenix. Peel It Back World Tour 2025.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Are you tired of seeing rust stains in your sinks? Call Culligan. Or scrubbing hard water scale buildup from your fixtures. Call Culligan. We can customize whole home solutions to address common water worries found in Phoenix. And now, for a limited time, you can get better water at every tap in your home for $0 down, no payments, and no interest for 6 months. Problem water is no problem for Culligan. Contact your local water expert today. Contaminants may not be in your water. Dealer participation may vary. See dealer for details.
It's Summer Splash at Whole Foods Market, where you'll find crisp, family-sized salads and limited-time desserts. Plus, dive into savings on grill-ready meats, organic seasonal produce, salty snacks, and more through June 10th.
The Memorial Day Mega Sale is on at Little Dealer Little Prices. Take off your summer adventure with a new Forest River Westbrook from $13,995, featuring better quality, better features, and unbeatable value. Veterans, active duty military, and first responders receive a free candy package with purchase as our way of saying thank you. Enjoy zero markups on freight and prep fees and shop with confidence thanks to fast, easy finance. These deals won't last. Visit littledealer.com today. Discount valid on in-stock RVs. Camping package for eligible buyers. Do not combine mobile with other offers. See dealer for details. Ends May 31st, 2025.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
$12 hour of the lunch break. Chris Schubert back with you here. Appreciate you joining us here on a Monday. You can stream us on the KDUS AM 1060 app. You can watch the program on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel or on our Twitter account. Just search KDUS AM 1060. You want to hop into the program, talk to producer Evan, 480-864-1060 is the phone number over there. We start hour number 2 of the program, diving back into the Arizona Diamondbacks as the bullpen continues to be an issue, cost them in a big way on Saturday. And we made the list a couple weeks ago. We keep adding to it, the blown games by the bullpen list, just to show you how many times the bullpen has directly impacted this team's win-loss record. And there are 6 games on this list. And the fun thing in doing this exercise is no 2 blown games are the same. No 2 blown games are because of the same reason. There are times on this list where this directly lays at the feet of Torey Lovello and a bullpen managerial decision. And then there are times where you put your best guys out there, you put the right guy in the right spot, and they just are unable to execute. And if Zach Gallen is an LB4 on our new panic scale that we have created, I'm at an LB1 with the bullpen. This is full-blown panic. On Saturday, you had Jalen Beeks come in, unable to get out of the 6th inning. Comes in, has a big lead, 4 or 5 runs, allows the Rockies to close the gap. Thompson comes in the 7th. He gives it up. 8 runs in the final 4 innings off of the Diamondbacks bullpen. So let's refresh everybody of what games are on our list of blown leads by the bullpen. Well, we have the one that everybody knows, the one that started it all, that Friday in Wrigley Field against the Chicago Cubs, where they gave up 5 runs in the 7th, 6 runs in the 8th. And it was the start of these double-digit offensive performances that led to losses. Then just 6 days later, a blown save in the 9th against the Rays, gave up 3 runs in the 10th. This one different than that game on the 18th. This one was a game that Torey Lovello gave away because he tried to steal outs with Ryan Nelson. That was the game, if you'll remember, Ryan Nelson came out, worked a couple of innings in relief, and Torey kind of pushed the envelope, went for a multi-inning save from his guy, even though he had Shelby Miller up and ready to go, and he pushed a little bit with Ryan Nelson, and they blew the save in the 9th inning. Then just 2 days later, you had the Braves in town. The Diamondbacks blew a 6-2 lead that day, gave up 2 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th, 4 home runs in total, right? That's the 4 home run Eugenio Suarez game?
That was the 4 home run
Eugenio
Suarez game, which, by the way, they blew the lead, came back in the 10th, or came back in the 9th, hit the 4th home run to tie it again, and then blew it again in the 10th.
6 days later, against the Phillies, another bad managerial decision, because instead of going to Jalen Beeks, Torey Lovello goes to Castillo, who gives up homers to Schwarber and Kepler. The game is 2-1 in the 7th at the time. Home runs to make it 3-2. Just gave a game away because you put the wrong reliever in. The Dodgers, 2 Fridays ago. We remember that one very well. 6 runs in the 9th inning. You come storming back from being down in this game. Kind of like this past Saturday. You have a huge rally late. You have an 11-8 lead going to the 9th inning, and you allow 6 runs to come across the plate to lose that one. And then, last but not least, you have what happened on Saturday. 4 runs in the 6th, 3 runs in the 7th, and 1 run in the 9th. The Rockies beat you 14-12. You know the worst part about this is it's different relievers in almost every single one of these games. There are some common threads, but it's Jalen Beeks, it's Ryan Thompson, it's Shelby Miller, it's Kevin Ginkel, it's everybody. Everybody has played a role in this. And so that's what makes it so hard for me to hop on board Justin Martinez coming back and expecting him to fix all of this. Yes, it allows you to put guys into better roles that are better suited for their skill sets. I'll give you that. But you got to get the ball to Justin Martinez. You've got to get the ball to him. And I don't, right now, trust Ryan Thompson. I don't trust Kevin Ginkel. I don't trust Shelby Miller. I don't trust the arms that are going to be asked to bridge the gap from your starter to Justin Martinez when he does come back. He's eligible to be activated. He pitched in a complex league game over the weekend. They assigned him to Reno. He's going to do some rehab appearances down there. So I don't expect him in this Dodger series. Probably after that is when we'll see him next. But his return, while it solves the 9th inning, as long as he's throwing 100 and he has the feel for that fastball, great. But you know what I don't have confidence in right now? Your ability to bridge the gap. Your ability to get those 6-9 outs that you sometimes need to get it to your guy in the 9th inning.
Or a day that he's not available.
Right. Because let's face it.
Who knows how available he's going to be coming back?
Do we expect him to be available on back-to-backs right now?
No.
They're going to take it extremely easy with him. It's going to be probably a week before they even start to entertain the idea of using him in back-to-back games. So you use him, you don't have him the next day. And if you have a lead and you're trying to protect a small 1-run, 2-run lead. Yes, can they do it? Absolutely. Shelby Miller yesterday got the 3 outs. No doubt about it. They have the ability to do it. They're just not consistent enough in their execution. And every single one of them has had a blow up. And so mentally, you're thinking about it. If we're thinking about it at home, they're certainly thinking about it at the ballpark. So Justin Martinez is going to come back. It's going to be a welcomed addition. I think that stuff plays elite level closer. I think I've made it clear on this program how much I love Justin Martinez and how important I think he is to this team. And being able to lock down the ninth inning on most days is a great place to be. But you got to get it to him in the seventh and the eighth. And maybe Shelby Miller works better in the seventh and the eighth inning. Kevin Ginkel works better in the seventh or the eighth inning. Ryan Thompson works better in the sixth and seventh innings to bridge the gap. Perhaps one guy coming back, shifting everybody back to a better role for them will help this bullpen get back on track. But I got to see that to believe that right now. Because do you expect this list right now to just stay at these 6 games? Do you expect this list to not grow the rest of the season? Unfortunately, right now, I expect this list to fill up. Producer Evan, do you have the MLB standings handy? Do you have them nearby? Because
right here.
I would like to know. We've got 6 games on this list that the bullpen is directly blown. I guarantee you, if you look at how far back they are in the wild card race.
Yes, they are 4 games back in the division, 3 in the wild card.
This stuff matters, everybody.
You blew one of those games. Let's go over it too.
Okay.
So you've blown one of those games to Dodgers, who you're 4 games back. So take that with a grain of salt. That's another game. You blow another one of those games to Phillies, who are one of the teams you're 3.5 back of the wild card. That wild card race in the National League's pretty tight right now. You blow a lead to the Cubs, who could very well be in the wild card. They're only 2 games up in their division. The Braves, who have been playing good baseball as of late, you blow one of those leads. They're going to enter back into the conversation here soon.
Think about this for just a second. Flip the results of the Dodgers game on May 9th and the Rockies game on May 17th, this past Saturday. How differently are we talking today about this team?
Very different.
We're talking about a team that took 3 of 4 from the Dodgers, a team that went into San Francisco and won a series 2 of 3, and then swept the Colorado Rockies. That's 3, 5, 8. That's 8-2 in 10 games against your division rivals.
And you're 2 games back of the division at that point.
That's the difference. So for those who keep saying it's early or just flip a couple, this is what we're talking about. This is how razor thin the margin is right now. We are talking about a totally different feel around this ball club if just those 2 results are different. Just flip 2 of those games on this list.
And the games we've talked about as important, the tiebreakers, the stuff like that. Like Atlanta's a game behind you now. You lost that series. You have St. Louis, who we've talked about coming up here in this 15-game stretch. They're a game above you. They've been playing really good baseball. You have to take advantage of those opportunities. And in the Atlanta series, you didn't. So now you're fighting an uphill battle.
And as John points out on YouTube, a former Take Friday champion here on the program, you got lucky because the Angels swept the Dodgers over the weekend. You missed a chance. By not winning this game on Saturday, you missed a chance to be a game closer. You missed a chance to be within 1 series. You missed a chance of starting this series with the Dodgers just 3 games back of first place.
By the way, how funny is it that the Angels swept the Dodgers?
You know, was kind of comical to watch that happen over the weekend.
That was funny.
But a missed chance by this Diamondbacks team. And now I think you've done yourself some favors because Eduardo Rodriguez has landed on the injured list. Ryan Nelson's now going to make that start against the Dodgers. So I feel better about that. I feel like you're going to get 4 quality innings out of Ryan Nelson, better than you were out of Eduardo Rodriguez. And now because you're moving Ryan Nelson into the rotation, I think you've now freed up a bullpen spot that can be better utilized to help you have additional arms out there. So that's good. But as we talked about last week, you've got to get guys settled. Picking what you wanted to do with Eduardo Rodriguez and Ryan Nelson was going to help. Getting Justin Martinez back was going to help. You've got to get guys into settled roles and just hope that it works out. And if it doesn't, if after you get Martinez back, if at some point you get AJ Puck back and you settle guys into roles and it's still not working, well, that's when Mike Hazen's going to have to work the phones, make those trades, make those acquisitions to try to make sure that you don't let this season slip away. But right now, You're kind of just trying to hold on and survive until you get your closer back. But you need more than just a closer when we get to the postseason. You're going to need more than just a closer when we get to September and October. You need more than just a closer right now. You are giving away games as a baseball team, giving them away. You gave away a sweep over the weekend, a sweep that we said you had to have. And I said that if they won 2 out of 3, it was going to depend on how it looked, whether or not we were going to open the show and be frustrated. Oh boy, am I frustrated after what I saw on Saturday. Just can't have it happen. You can't score 12 runs and lose. You just can't. You can't score 12 runs in a baseball game and that not be good enough. It's an indictment of your pitching staff at that point. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel, the Twitter feed as well. You can watch the show over there if you want to get involved. When we come back, all right, let's talk about it. His first week in the big leagues in 2025 hasn't been great. So we will have a Jordan Lawler conversation when we come back. That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hosier presents the Unreal Unearthed Tour 2025, live in Phoenix. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, October 7th. With special guest, Amble. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The #1 album, Unreal Unearthed, is available everywhere. For more, visit hosier.com.
Right now at Mark Kia, lease a brand new 2025 Kia Sportage for just $199 a month for 24 months with just $29.99 due at
The
signing.
name, remember? Mark Kia? Mark Kia. Go to markkia.com for full details. $0 security deposit payment plus tax title license and $998 doc fee. Offer expires June 2nd, 2025.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner and Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
Today we celebrate all of our hard work, late nights, and the most craveable Raising Cane's chicken fingers and cane sauce that got you through it. So get out there and commemorate this moment with a grad plush puppy, because you've earned it. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Scotty Scheffler isn't just the best golfer in the world. He's becoming one of the most dominant forces we've seen in the modern era. Over the last 3 seasons, he's stacked up a resume that would make most careers blush. 2 green jackets, a PGA championship, and a steady stream of top 10 finishes. This isn't a hot streak. It's a new standard. Scheffler doesn't need the drama, doesn't need walk-off eagles or wild comebacks. He just shows up, stripes fairways, drains putts, walks off with the trophy. And now, with half the career Grand Slam officially locked in, the conversation has shifted from if he'll join golf's most elite to when. At just 28, he's already halfway there, and with a game that's this balanced and a mindset this focused, there's little reason to think that he's slowing down anytime soon. Golf may be a game of highs and lows, but right now, Scotty Scheffler is the one constant. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. King's Hawaiian welcomes you to summer and reminds you sliders are the perfect meal for the summer grilling season. King's Hawaiian rolls and slider buns, so versatile, perfect for whatever you're thinking of grilling up. How about chicken, beef, pork, fish, whatever you're thinking of putting on the grill, King's Hawaiian can turn those into delicious sliders and make you the hero of the backyard. So get ready for summer grilling season. Go to the bakery or deli section of your local grocery store and pick up those irresistible King's Hawaiian rolls and slider buns and enjoy.
As down payments get bigger, millions of renters across America feel like they'll never be able to buy a home. So instead of lowering expectations, Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus, helping more renters become owners. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
It has been a less than ideal start to 2025 for Jordan Lawler, who was absolutely crushing the ball down in Reno and forcing the Diamondbacks' hand to call him up. And we all knew that when he was promoted to the big league level that it was going to be a spot start type duty. Was not going to play every day, but was going to get 3 to 4 starts a week, being able to play second base, being able to play shortstop, being able to play third base, ways to get guys days off, move them into the DH role, get Lawler in there. They were going to be able to get creative and get him involved. Well, we are a week into Jordan Lawler's big league stint in 2025, and it hasn't been great. 0 for 8, 1 walk, 9 plate appearances, has made a couple of mistakes in the field, has only gotten 2 starts, had a pinch hit appearance for Ketel Marte when he left with that hip injury. And so overall, is it time to worry a little bit? Is it time to, where are we on our panic scale? Is this an LB5 or is this an LB1? Where do we sit on all of this with Jordan Lawler? And I think the previous context of him coming up in 2023, the team promoting him towards the tail end of that season, I think he hit like a $123 during the last portion of the season, was on the postseason roster, was able to get into a World Series game. But overall, as a player, didn't do a whole lot. Then got hurt. 2024 was kind of derailed. Started 2025, had that hot start, forced the Diamondbacks' hand, but is still struggling. Now, it's 9 plate appearances. It's 8 at-bats. I'm not going to freak out too much over this, but it's not like that this is the only sample size we have. We have a sample size in 2023 of him coming up to the big league level, getting playing time, and struggling. He is 22. There are going to be holes in his swing that big league pitchers are going to attack. They're going to exploit, and he has to, at 22 years old and at the big league level, learn on the fly. He has to adjust at this level. So I don't want to say that I'm panicking, but it is an unideal start for. We are very high on him on the program. We love Jordan Lawler. We think he can make an impact to this team and help them. He is not doing so thus far, but there have been prospects that get called up all across this sport. And we live in a different world now. 25 years ago, I don't know if people knew the top prospects in a team's baseball system. Certainly, if they did know them, they didn't know them to the level that we do now, where during the broadcast, they're talking about prospects. The Diamondbacks every Sunday do a feature talking about the minor league system, talking about the prospects to keep an eye on. Were we doing that 25 years ago? Were we doing that 20 years ago? We were not having those conversations. And so prospects, the future of the game, these rankings, everybody is consuming this content. They know where Jordan Lawler was among the top prospects in baseball. And I think there's an assumption. If you are considered one of the top 10 prospects in baseball, you can't miss. You have to immediately go to the big league level and hit 325 and hit 25 home runs. You have to be a perfect baseball player. That's not how it works. Jackson Holliday was a can't-miss prospect. Called him up. He struggled. They sent him back down. They then called him back up again, and he's looking like the prospect that we know him to be. Not everything is linear progression. Not everything is master the AAA level, go to the big leagues, master that level. There's some give and take with that. So we're not panicking. I'm actually going to say this is an LB5. I'm not even raising my eyebrow at this yet. The defense is a little bit of a concern, but I'm not going to allow 8 at-bats to, and again, what did we say when they called him up? This is a new thing for him. He's not playing every day. He's starting and then he's sitting. He's starting and then he's sitting. That is a different thing for a 22-year-old. I asked this question legitimately. Jordan Lawler has been playing baseball his entire life. From the time he started playing travel or club ball, whenever that was, how often do you think Jordan Lawler sat down? Non-injury. How often do you think he sat down?
Total? 5.
He plays a lot.
5 times?
He probably played every day in high school.
Here's the biggest thing I have is a slight problem with the manager. He only has 8 at-bats at this point.
Yeah, can we get
You're
some
not
more
letting
bats?
him build a rhythm. We talked about, okay, we're going to play him 4 times a week. He's going to be in 4 games a week. He's played twice since he's called up. This is going to be a glaring problem if they can't get him consistent at-bats. Even the other night, came up in a big opportunity. They pinch hit Naylor on Saturday, and Naylor doubles and works out for the whole team. But you're not giving him those at-bats. Right? He's 0 for 8. He's 9 plate appearances. He has the 1 walk. That's it.
I'm going to read to you from Jordan Lawler's Wikipedia page to further emphasize my point. He hit .409 as a sophomore with 5 home runs. In 2020, he hit .485. Now, it was 12 games. But he played in the Perfect Game All-American Classic, was named the Player of the Year. As a senior, he hit .412. 6 home runs, 32 stolen bases. He was the Texas Gatorade Baseball Player of the Year. How often did this kid sit down? He went to Vandy. How often did he sit down there?
Never.
Probably not a lot if he did. I don't have Jordan Lawler's college numbers in front of me, but I guarantee you he played quite a bit. So this is new for somebody who's been playing baseball his whole career and plays most days. And so it's I don't want to say worrisome. It's unideal because the longer it goes, the more he's thinking about it. And you want somebody his age, with his skill set, with his tool set, to be playing more on instinct, playing more on feel, letting the game come to him, just being the raw, natural athlete that we know that he can be. So that's the way you want him to play. And the longer this goes without him contributing a big hit, hitting that home run, driving in a run, the longer he goes without those moments, the more he's going to be thinking about it. And the further away he gets from being that raw, talented, skillful player that's playing on instinct and more of a player that's going to be pressing, more of a player that's going to be trying too hard in some cases. It's a very delicate balance. And so we all were fans when he got called up. But you got to find a way to get him in there more. 2 starts so far in a week. It's got to be enough. It's got to be at least 3, and it probably should be 4. That's the right sweet spot. That's the right sweet spot for him. Because if not, you're doing him a disservice.
That's what I was going to say. Is you could have left him down there to play every day.
And we could have kept just having Lawler watch.
And I understand wanting to bring the spark to the lineup.
Sure.
But at what point are you hurting your own lineup by bringing him up too early and not putting him in a rhythm? You're not bringing a spark if you're not allowing him to play and do what he has done for his entire life. His entire baseball career, he's been the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in a major league clubhouse, that adjustment has to be made of not being the guy. But typically it's not, I'm no longer the guy, and I don't even play.
It's a delicate balance that a team has to strike when they call up their top prospect, and they're kind of forcing it a little bit. There wasn't a natural, clean, easy place for him to play. This isn't Eugenio Suarez going down with a season-ending injury and now third base is wide open. He's getting called up. He's playing third base every day, and it's just clean, easy. You know that he's going to get the regular at-bats. You've called him up, and you've promised yourself that you're going to find him those at-bats. But then the game takes over, and then reality takes over.
And trying to win.
And trying to win takes over. So it's easy to say, yeah, we're going to get him those at-bats. It's another thing to actually follow through on it. And part of me thinks that they don't want to do this stop and start with him. So the fact that he's up, I think he's going to stay up. But they're just going to have to learn, just like he's learning, they're going to have to learn how they want to do this and how they're going to get him into this lineup on a regular enough basis. Because we know the type of player he can be. We saw what he was doing down in Reno. This is one of the best prospects in the game of baseball. This is the guy that next year is going to be the starting third baseman of this club. He can get a jump start on that and help contribute to this team this year. And so I'm not panicking over this slow start. We'll call it an LB5 on our lunch break panic rankings. But it can move up if this offer continues to grow. You start getting worried then of, is he going to be pressing? Is he going to be trying to do too much? We'll see if he gets any starts during this series against the Dodgers. Hopefully he gets at least one. That's the other thing. You play, 2 series a week? You should get at least one start per series guaranteed, and then you should try to get him another start at least. And then he's a pinch hit option off the bench. Guy that you can put in late for defense. That's where you're kind of at with him. But you kind of have to force it. That's where they're at. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. We've also got you on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, the 49ers paid Brock Purdy. What does it mean for the Cardinals and the rest of the NFC West? It's next on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, heart-pounding excitement. Nitro Circus is back. The all-new off-the-rails tour. Gravity-defying thrill seekers and world-class daredevils at the top of their game. FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and everything in between. Experience all new competitions that pit the best against the best in never-been-done showdowns. Nitro Circus. Friday, December 5th. Desert Diamond Arena. Join the action at Ticketmaster.com.
Pool season is coming in hot. Before you make a splash, assign a water watcher to help keep kids safe. A water watcher is a capable adult who knows how to swim and perform CPR in case of emergency. Make sure they put away any distractions and actively monitor everyone in the group while around water. After everyone is done swimming, water watchers should scan the bottom of the pool and close and lock the pool gate behind them. Ready for more water safety tips? Visit srp.net/pool.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Hello, this is Jan at Toyota.
Hi, Jan. Is now a good time to get a new Toyota for summer?
It is. We like to say your summer starts here at your Toyota dealer.
Yeah, I'm a pet sitter and business is way up as people enjoy their new Toyotas.
Your summer starts here.
Oh, that's the Walker's pet parrot, Mr. Knowles.
That's me.
They packed up their new Corolla and took a trip to a national park.
Well, through June 2nd, everyone can join in on the summer fun with a great selection of Camrys, 4Runners, and more.
Yeah, the Johnsons strapped a canoe onto their new Grand Highlander and went out to the lake.
Shh, quiet, Lou.
And Mark and Sarah loaded their gear into their Tundra and went scuba diving.
Oh, no, stop. Sebastian, Goldie is not dinner.
Fish for dinner.
No, stop.
This is bad.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Good luck.
Your summer starts here.
That's right, Mr. Knowles. Summer starts here at your Toyota dealer with a new Toyota, but it all ends June 2nd. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
Toyota, let's go places.
Looking to sell your home? Hi, I'm Andrew the Home Buyer, and I love making it easy to sell your house. I'll personally come and give you a cash offer the same day we meet, and I'll beat any other offer. It really is that easy to sell your home, and no need to clean or fix anything. I'll buy it in as-is condition. Call me, Andrew the Home Buyer, today to get your same-day cash offer. Visit andrewthehomebuyer.com.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Welcome back into the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert here with you. Got the leftovers coming in about 12 minutes from now. Producer Evan with all the stories that we didn't get to. One that I wanted to make sure that we got to here today on the program. A seismic contract given out in the NFC West. Brock Purdy, the 49ers, agreed to a 5-year, $265 million deal. In total, he's got one more year left on his current deal. This is going to start after that. So it's 6 years, $270 million. It's got $181 million in overall guaranteed money. And the guy went from Mr. Irrelevant to Mr. Franchise Quarterback by getting paid $265 million. Your instant reaction, Producer Evan, when you heard the news. You saw the alert come across, the tweet from Adam Schefter, the 49ers signed Brock Purdy, $265 million contract. Your immediate reaction was?
Their little run is over.
I agree with you. I wasn't sure if we were going to agree.
Yeah.
I think this is a mistake. Now, not in the sense that you paid him. You have to pay him. Just the way it works now, right? You have to pay him if you want to at least have a decent level of quarterback play. And he's got a full no trade clause. We'll see what happens the way the contract is structured. My guess is they'll be able to get after it after 3 seasons. So this year and then the first 3 years of the extension, the money will probably be structured in a way where they can't really get out of it. And it's not so much that they paid him $50+ million. It's just, I don't think Brock Purdy is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I think because they paid him, the sacrifices that they had to make to the rest of their roster is just going to leave them short. You can pay Josh Allen all the money in the world. You can pay Patrick Mahomes all the money in the world because they are one-of-one quarterbacks that will compensate for other holes in your roster. Dak Prescott, they paid him all that money. I don't think Dallas has a Super Bowl roster. I don't think the 49ers have a Super Bowl roster. So that's where I think the mistake has come in. They have not built a good enough roster. And because they had to do all of this contract maneuvering to be able to free up this money to pay Brock Purdy, again, you have to pay him. You have to lock up your guy and keep him around and build yourself an out down the road. And if an out presents itself, I think they're smart enough to structure the contract in a way where they'll be able to get out of it. But I think if they paid him the $30 million, $50 million, $60 million, whatever they paid him, I just don't think Brock Purdy and this current roster is in a place where they can win.
It's also, their roster is aging.
Right.
And as you get to this transition period, which they're going to approach in 2 years, if that, they're going to be in a spot where they have this quarterback contract that's really going to hinder them in bringing in free agents. How much longer does George Kittle have at his current peak?
2 years.
2 years. They already watched Debo go, so you've signed Ayuk to the deal. You now have a position where you're paying the quarterback. We've already seen injuries add up with McCaffrey, both here and in Carolina. How many more years do you have of him being great? 2 years?
3 years.
Your franchise tackle is 36 years old.
Yeah, you have 1 year. That's a year-to-year thing at best, right?
So you're going to be looking for an offensive line upgrade. You're going to be looking for a tight end in 2 to 3 years. You could add depth at receiver in 2 to 3 years. You're in a position where the running back, who knows how long he can stay healthy, and he's your best offensive weapon.
Yeah,
this money handcuffs you in
Right.
2 years.
Now, if the cap continues to go up and new quarterbacks get paid more than he does, then it moves down the board and you feel better about it. It's not so much the actual dollar amount. It's what they had to do to even entertain signing Brock Purdy to an extension. And a roster that, let's face it, sometimes you just miss your championship window. I think the 49ers missed their championship window.
They were up 10 twice in the Super Bowl.
And they lost both times. That's it. Sometimes it's that simple. Sometimes it's as simple as you had your chance, you blew it. And not only did you have your chance and you blew it, you got a second chance and you blew that
again.
one. You had a core that had a chance to win 2 championships. You swung and missed both times. Maybe Brock Purdy can get back to being the guy who took this team to the Super Bowl the first time around. Perhaps that could be the case. I'm skeptical of it because I don't think the infrastructure on both sides of the ball is as strong as it was that year they went to the championship. And the roster is only going to get older. Nick Bosa is only going to get older. Fred Warner is only going to get older.
Yeah.
It's an old roster. And so for the Cardinals, I think this is music to your ears because I think it locks in the 49ers to a window that I think is already slammed shut.
I mean, on the window, if we want to call the window is still open, best case scenario, Chris, there's a year left. This is it. This feels like do or die for them. And this contract to me is not what will you do for me, it's what have you done for me.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it works sometimes. You pay guys.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
But that means your championship window's over.
Let me look at their contracts outside of Purdy.
I do also want to touch about pretty cool story for Brock Purdy.
Oh.
And I think that gets lost in all the 49ers stuff, but I mean the guy is going to make $2.6 million over his first 4 years in the league. Then he's going to make 53.
Yeah, no,
in year 5.
It's a great story. Guy goes
pretty cool.
There's the local tie here because this is where he's from. This is where he went and played high school. A guy goes from Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the draft, to being one of the highest paid players in the history of the game of football. Like that's a cool story on the surface. I'm just not sure if I would have done everything that this team has done.
I think every roster move they have made since they lost the Super Bowl, I disagreed with to a certain extent. Maybe not fully, but to a certain extent.
I mean, Fred Warner is going to be 30 next year. Trent Williams is going to be 38. Nick Bosa is going to be 29. Kittle's going to be 33. McCaffrey's going to be 30. He's going to cross over that line of demarcation. Running backs over 30, they fall off a cliff.
And it's not like he hasn't dealt with injury.
Now you have
at all levels.
Now you have some pieces I like. I love Ricky Pearsall. I love Brandon Ayuk.
Do you? I'm not sold on Pearsall.
Oh, I love Ricky Pearsall.
He's a bad separator.
I loved him coming out of the draft.
And Ayuk, I'm more sold on than the others. But gosh, give me 15, 20 receivers before I take Ayuk.
Yeah, I didn't say
and I'm not
top options. I just I like these guys.
No, I like Ayuk too. And I don't want to take that, but they're not paying him like a 15 to 20 receiver.
No, they're not. I look at this team last year. They went 6-11, had a really bad year.
Yeah. And I think they're better than that.
They are better than that. They have a good coach. They have a coach that during the regular season is going to outcoach most other coaches.
During the regular season.
So I put the caveat on it during the regular season. is going to be able to outcoach most coaches. They have enough talent to, I think, where they're going to be competitive. But I just don't know where this window goes after this season. To your point, it's kind of this year or bust for them. And if I had to pick right now, if you made me pick between going far, making a run, or busting, I think this team busts. If I had to pick right now between those two options, I am going to lean towards this team not doing a whole lot because I just don't know if Brock Purdy can win those big games.
In buy or sell, I told you it's a 2-team race in the NFC West, and you bought it.
I bought it. I'm not in on Seattle this year. I've made that very clear. I think there's going to be a learning curve to Darnold. I think that offensive line isn't as good as the infrastructure that he had in Minnesota. And I'm sorry, there's a downgrade from going from Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, who bail you out of some mistakes at times, to the Seattle.
He went from the best, if not the second best receiver duo in the league. In whatever order you want to talk about him, it's Chase Higgins, it's Jefferson, Addison, and Brown and Smith. Whatever order you want to put them, flip a coin, I don't care. But now you go to Seattle.
You go to JSN and Cooper Kupp are your 1 and 2. And I don't know how much Cooper Kupp has left in the tank.
And I'm a big JSN guy.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan.
Is he a number 1 though?
No.
Right. And so that's why I'm kind of soured on Seattle. And then San Francisco, I look at, this is their regular season schedule. And maybe we need to play the win-loss game with them because they open at Seattle, then it's at New Orleans, it's home against the Cardinals, home against the Jags, at the Rams, at the Bucks, home against the Falcons, at the Texans. They draw the Giants on their schedule. So they've got some winnable games. The Panthers, the Browns, the Titans, the Colts. So they've got a schedule that lines up for them to make noise. I don't see a lot of hard games on this schedule. The hardest games they're going to play are going to be their divisional opponents. The 2 games against Seattle, the 2 games against the Rams, the 2 games against the Cardinals. Outside of the division, here's who they play. Saints, Jags, Bucks, Falcons, Texans, Giants, Panthers, Browns, Titans, Colts, Bears.
Oh my God, yeah, that's one of the easiest schedules I've seen.
I don't hear the Chiefs. I don't hear the Bills. I don't hear the Ravens. I don't hear the Eagles. I don't hear the Lions, the Packers, the Vikings. I don't hear any of those teams. One division winner in the NFC that they'll play outside of their own division in Tampa Bay. They'll play Houston, who was a division winner last year. So to your point, this has kind of got to be the year. You have a schedule that's favorable. You're playing a 4th place schedule because you had a bunch of injuries and underperformance last year. You then have to parlay that into some success this year, or else Trent Williams is a year older, McCaffrey's a year older, this core gets older, and then Brock Purdy's new contract kicks in. And then you're limited in what you're able to do with the rest of this team.
I think this is the last year, and even if you count this year just because of the loss of Debo, this is the last year of this era of 49ers football. To me, you're just getting too old. You have to get out of some of these deals.
You need Mykal Williams, who they picked in the first round, to be awesome. You need a couple of your day 2 picks.
You need Pearsall to really work out.
Yeah, there's some things that, and honestly, what you need is this gamble on Brock Purdy that needs to pay off.
It needs to hit.
He needs to be the guy who took you to the Super Bowl, because if he's that quarterback consistently enough, then he might be able to overcome some of the adjustments that they're going to need to make with their roster. They'll be able to get good players. It just may take a little bit more tinkering.
The truck or the trailer thing we talk about all the time.
He's going to have to be, this year, he can kind of be in between. Starting next year, he's going to have to be the truck instead of being the trailer. And I just don't know if he can be that guy. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. Last calls on the other side of the break. We've also got the leftovers, all the stories that we didn't get to, and I got something to get off my chest. I have a major show announcement that I need to make. I'll do it next. The lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays, 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Judas Priest and Alice Cooper.
Mr. Nice Guy.
The Metal Gods, Judas Priest. The godfather of shock rock, Alice Cooper. October 22nd, Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater with special guest, Corrosion of Conformity. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Presented by 100.7 KSLX, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. However, if left untreated, could lead to costly repairs. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage door is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repair. From simple repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. We fix garage doors fast and with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Our springs, rollers, and openers are tested by running them up and down, open and closed all day, 24/7, so you can feel confident with every A1 garage door repair. Replacing the bottom rubber on your garage door can have a huge impact on the number of bugs you see in your garage and in your home. Keep those creepy crawlers outside by calling A1 Garage Door Service today and receive the best service, best parts, and best warranty in the industry.
A1Garage.com. A1 from day one.
Call today and take advantage of our $29.95 tune-up special.
The summertime savings are heating up at Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Come check out a brand new 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage for just $15,995.
The name to remember? Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Scottsdale Mitsubishi, another Mark Auto Group dealership.
Memorial Day mega sale is on at Little Dealer Little Prices. Get a new Forest River Westbrook from $13,995. Plus, veterans, military, and first responders receive a free camping package with purchase. Shop now at littledealer.com. Discount valid on in-stock RVs camping package for eligible buyers. Not combinable with other offers. See dealer for details. Ends May 31st, 2025.
It's ASU postseason baseball right here on KDUS AM 1060. After fighting hard all season long, the Sun Devils are ready to make some noise in the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. Their first matchup is up against BYU bright and early this Wednesday. Join the voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy, as he calls the action from Arlington. It's ASU versus BYU. Pregame at 6:45 a.m. and first pitch at 7 a.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and online at KDUS1060.com/Sun Devils.
Back to wrap up the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you. Jim Rome's coming up at the top of the hour. It's time for the leftovers, all the stories that we didn't get to throughout the course of the show. Now, producer Evan, you raised your eyebrow, a little LB4, to my show announcement. You don't know
I was a little confused.
You don't know what this is.
Was this talked about before?
It was. We did discuss it pre-show. We should be.
The alignment.
We should be. It doesn't feel like we are.
I know where this is headed now.
You know where this is headed now.
Yes.
This is a major show announcement, and I hate to do this.
Is it about a P1?
It is about a P1 because I am left with no other choice. I have no other options. You can't email into the show and give out a horse pick for the Preakness that doesn't even finish in the top three. I don't even get a podium place out of the horse pick. After the last pick that Paul made for what's first, the Kentucky Derby? It goes Kentucky Derby, Preakness, Belmont. So in the Kentucky Derby, the pick that he made did not work out. River Thames, whatever the horse's name was, finished sixth in the Preakness over the weekend. So I am now officially making it official. Paul, he can email in. I will not read them out on the horse picks. They're banned. They're banned from the show. I can't do it.
Yeah, for the Belmont, Paul doesn't get a pick.
He can email them in. I'm not reading them out on the air. I'm not doing it. You've got to at least be close. You've got to be like in the mix. You're not even in the mix.
Yeah, no, that was bad. That was a really bad pick from Paul.
And your golf picks weren't much better.
We'll get into that.
I mean,
but at least, I hit one.
I know, but your golf picks are kind of teetering. Rory winning the Masters earned you one bad one. See, Paul didn't have a good one. Paul didn't have a Rory's going to win the Masters. You have that in your back pocket, so you get a mulligan. So you get one. You get a bad weekend.
I've earned one.
You've earned
That's
one.
like birdieing on the first two. Like, hey, I bought myself a bogey.
Right, I can bogey 3 or 4, and it's okay.
Yeah.
You earned yourself a do-over. Paul has not. Okay, that was the major show announcement that I needed to make. And again, I hate to do it, but I think I'm left with no other choice for the integrity of the program.
You had to let him.
I had to.
Okay. We'll start with 2 baseball stories.
Okay.
The first one being Jose Alvarado suspended 80 games and now ineligible for the postseason for violating the baseball's performance-enhancing drugs.
The claim from the team, if I'm remembering the reporting correctly, is that it was a weight loss drug that they are saying
weight loss drug
contributed to this. I honestly don't care what their excuse is. This is the year 2025. Anything that you are putting into your body as a professional athlete, specifically in the game of baseball, you got to check with the league. You have to check with the team, with the league. You have to ask, hey, I want to take this for this. Is this okay? Get approval. Get the union involved.
I don't know how. It's a disgrace.
What it is it's just, they just don't care. It's somebody who doesn't care about taking the extra step to make sure they don't get themselves into trouble. Because if you got the email, you sent the email to the league, you got your agent involved, you got the union involved, you got the league involved, and they said, no, you can't use this. Well, now you got to make a choice. What you do by doing it this way is you get to try to claim ignorance. I'm sorry, ignorance in 2025 when it comes to performance-enhancing drugs and getting popped for one of these tests is no longer a viable excuse. There are too many resources. There are too many pathways for you to gain information. You've got to know better. You absolutely have to know better and ask the question.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's like athletes,
really, really bad.
It's like athletes or coaches or anybody who gets pulled over for a DUI. It is 2025. You have a phone that can call a car ride in 5 seconds. You don't get to claim ignorance. You don't. You have the answers right there in front of you.
Yeah, really, really bad. Staying in baseball, this one a little bit more fun. After all that we've said, he won't DH, he won't play first base. Rafael Devers with an all-time weekend. So we'll start with, on Saturday, he hits his first ever walk-off home run to beat the Braves. The next day, he hits a grand slam. He's up to almost 290 on his average. He didn't have a hit in like his first 30-some at-bats we talked about.
This is why you just handle these things behind closed doors and you don't.
This is awesome. This is the greatest story in baseball right now.
It is a fun one. Devers has been a fun story.
And I really hope they trade him because that would be really funny.
No, I don't want to go to that far. They might have to if the relationship continues to sour, but it's good to see a player react like that. Paul has emailed into the program. I knew this was going to set off a chain of fireworks. Now, in an email, I don't know how Paul means, like how he, in all caps, it says banned with what looks like 7 or 8 question marks. And then he says, ha, 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 that's cool. It's your show. Ha, ha, ha. Keep up the good work. So how do I take that? Is Paul playing along with, now it's not, I mean, it's kind of a bit, but is Paul playing along or do we lose Paul? Do we lose a P1?
I think he's playing along.
Okay. I hope so. I hope Paul's playing along.
Because I think we're playing, and I think me and Paul's rivalry.
We put that to bed a couple of weeks ago.
We put that to bed, but it was fun. It was never
this.
We're having some fun.
This medium, what we do here every single day for 2 hours, 10 hours a week, we're here talking sports. We got to have some fun. Yeah. We're going to have fun with you. You can have fun with us. Like you and John have a feud that's ongoing. I love that they feud with you. There's no feud with me.
I know. I don't know what it is.
There's no feud with the host of the program. The producer gets the brunt of all of the hatred. I hope Paul knows we're having fun and we're kidding around. But yes, he did immediately email in. I hadn't heard from him all today. He immediately emailed in after I panned. Now, Paul can still call in on Take Friday. Paul, you can still email in about everything else. I'm just not reading out the horse picks on the air. Now, if you send one in and it ends up winning, then you're back. I'll lift the ban. This is not a permanent ineligibility.
And are these just horse picks?
Yeah.
What if Paul emailed in and was like, hey, it's the Knicks?
Paul, I think, is a boxing guy too. If Paul wants to, sure.
Nice. Well, I'm a boxing fan, Paul.
That felt like you were just playing to Paul right there to try to get him on.
No, I swear to God, my dad's dad was a professional fighter.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Getting into the NBA playoffs.
Okay.
We have 4 teams left after a Game 7 blowout by the Thunder.
Yes.
So the Thunder in the West will take on the T-Wolves, and the Pacers will play the Knicks in the East for their chance to go to the finals.
The NBA league offices, they are crossing their fingers that the Knicks can win against the Pacers. They are dreading the television ratings.
You don't want Indiana, Oklahoma City.
They are dreading Indiana, Oklahoma City. They are dreading those television ratings. Dreading them. They'll be okay. They just won't be great. The Knicks in the finals, ratings bonanza.
Yeah, they would crush it. I'm taking Knicks T-Wolves.
I'm taking Knicks Thunder.
Oh yeah, I like these T-Wolves.
I think both series are great. I think both series are going to be an absolute blast. Indiana, New York is like old school 1990s Reggie Miller against the Knicks. It's going to be a blast. Can't wait.
Hopefully the Pacers wear their actual jerseys.
We don't have enough time for this. That's going to do it for us. The Monday edition of the program in the books. Jim Rome is coming up next. Everybody have a great rest of your Monday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.